Hey everybody, welcome back to the Buffalo Plus YouTube channel. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Mike Catalana along with Dan Fates. We appreciate you watching this because we know you're not happy. This game was a total collapse by this team. A total collapse. Top to bottom. Coaching, offense, defense, quarterback, everything in this one.
This is a tough game to try and swallow, dissect, break down. But it starts with Josh Allen, Mike. And look, Josh Allen is a superstar quarterback. He is an MVP caliber quarterback. He has won the Bills a lot of games over the last 3 seasons. But it's also okay to be critical of him. And yes, he's tough and he played through an elbow injury and all of those things. But he made some more mistakes today that were head-scratching that shot his team in the foot. He took ownership last week saying it's tough to win when your quarterback plays like shit. Well, guess what? There were some times that he played like shit today.
Yeah, big mistakes in big moments. First of all, let's start with this. Before we get to the turnovers specifically, what happens at halftime with this team? The second half, their offense goes to sleep. We're talking about a team that in the first half of these games is moving the ball and scoring 24 points in the first half today. They have not scored a touchdown in the second half since the Dawson Knox game winner in Kansas City. This is 3 games in a row. Dan, it is brutal. It is embarrassing for them.
This is part of the learning curve and growing pains, I believe, of Ken Dorsey. Look, Brian Daboll was a phenomenal in-game adjuster, changing the scripts. It is one thing when you have your play sheets and you get to do all the things. You have scripted plays on your opening drive, and the Bills have been very good on their opening drive for the most part this season. But once the defense makes an adjustment mid-game, you then have to counter that, and the Bills have not been able to do it. They have been outscored in the second half 42-13 in the second half their last 3 games. Inexcusable from this type of offense, and you also felt like this defense, with the offense failing to get going, the defense just kind of crumbling under the pressure.
Yeah, and we saw them not be able to do that. Now, they did make a few plays, right, on defense in this game. They made a few plays, but not at the biggest moments.
I kept thinking about that. They would make a big sack on second down. They would knock down a pass on third down, force an incompletion, and then they'd give up a 4th and 18 completion to Justin Jefferson.
Let's take a pause on that for a second. That was one of the most incredible catches I have ever seen. And add in the circumstances, 4th down, the game on the line at Justin Jefferson, is a spectacular football player.
Superstar. And the Bills on the touchdown and other completions, the one in late in the 4th quarter, after that one, they had 3 guys on him. And they did it in overtime too. And the Bills, like I said, I bet you said it best. It was the one thing that I thought of was they made big plays, just never in the biggest moments. The Vikings made all those plays. And that goes to the part where this year Von Miller has said that the mantra and the motto of this team, and there are signs in the locker room of don't blink. They blinked. They blinked a lot today. And they've blinked a lot these last 3 weeks. And they've got 2 losses to show for it.
Yeah, they have a lot of problems. And one of them is the red zone. They scored a couple touchdowns early in the red zone. It's nice and safe. It's in the first half.
Yep.
When they needed it, they're making mistakes. It is 5 consecutive games that this team has turned the ball over offensively in the red zone. That is last place team type football. You cannot make mistakes like that. They found different ways. They've fumbled in the red zone. They've thrown interceptions. They've lost the ball on downs in the red zone. It has been, I'd say, embarrassing for the mistakes they've made. And look, again, you said that about Josh Allen. He's made some real head scratchers, including the one at the end of the game here. Look, you don't want a tie, but you had the tie on the plate. You had it there. If you don't score a touchdown, you're going to kick a field goal. The game likely ends in a tie. That's the only thing better than a loss, right, is that they would have tied the game. Instead, he throws the pick at the end of the game. I don't know what's going on in the red zone. They did run it a couple of times early and got touchdowns. But you said it best, too, even offensively, when they need that play, when they need the running play, when they need the execution in the end zone, and all you got to do is push forward and you win the game. This team's not coming through.
That's exactly it. They can run the ball. I thought Devin Singletary had 2 of the best runs I'd ever seen him had. And I went, man, I actually said, if he runs the ball like this, I'm okay with running it, because that was awesome. Made some guys miss in tight spaces against the Vikings. But then when they needed to run out some clock, when they needed to have a 4-minute drive, which is something that every team scripts, you do 2-minute drives and you do 4-minute drives, and the Bills couldn't get a first down. Those are the differences in the game, because then when they need to run the ball, when they need to get a push, when they need a yard, they can't get it in the biggest moments.
The fourth down, when the Bills went for it, and Allen threw the interception, I can see why they went for it. I can see why they were looking to put the game away there. And they didn't. And they thought they'd have him pinned back at the 7, and he throws the interception. So you didn't have a problem with them going for it there.
I didn't have a problem with them going for there. 10-point game, field goal still keeps it a 2-score game. Hindsight is 20/20. Obviously, they returned the ball back to the 30. All of those things happened,
and they missed the extra point.
So obviously, hindsight is 20/20. I liked them going for the field goal when they were up 14 to make it 17, because that made it a 3-score game. I don't have any problem with the decision to go for it.
Yeah, I tell you what, this team can say all they want about sticking together, and that's what they're going to need to do. But they don't have confidence, Dan, in big moments. You can see it. I mean, you talk about blinking. I don't think the offense has confidence. I don't think the defense believes they're going to stop people. Now, again, they did. I guess they stopped them at the goal line. Well, look, they got super lucky on the offsides play at the goal line. When the pass was dropped, it would have won the game right there, or at least given the Vikings the lead. And then you get the stop on 4th and inches, and then it was stunning to me that they gave the ball away. Like, this is not quite Joe Pisarcik at a Miracle at the Meadowlands when you fumble the ball and the team runs it in, but it was kind of close. You fumble the ball at your own 1-yard line to give the other team the lead.
So from my perspective, I'm filming the Bills' defensive bench because they were reviewing whether or not Kirk Cousins got in on the 4th down sneak. And Tyrel Dodson is pretty much in tears for a guy that stepped up, made a big play. When Tremaine Edmonds goes out, you make the stop when the game depends on it. That's got to be a rush and a feeling like no other. And I'm not even filming the offense because, honestly, Mike, the worst thing that can happen, in my eyes, was a safety. And then you punt it away, and was 30 seconds left, and that was it. But to fumble it there is inexcusable. And again, whether or not Josh doesn't think he can get a push, whether there was, Mitch Morse gets blown back, whoever's fault it is, it can't happen. It just can't happen.
Simple execution. It's the number one play. They always talk about it. It's one of the things they start with in training camp. It's the center exchange with the quarterback that they've done thousands of times, and it would have sealed the game, and it would have turned out to be a good win for this team. They still would have had problems, but the defense would have come up with a play. Offense would have figured it out a way, and they get it done. And look, I mentioned a couple of times, it's on Sean McDermott too, because whatever he's doing with this team, with the coaching staff, this team has lost that edge. They went from being Super Bowl favorites to right now a team that is
3rd place,
scrambling. 3rd place in the division, and they've earned that these last 2 weeks. I said to you last week, the Jets look like the better team, which was sad. I'm not saying the Vikings look like they're 8-1. Congratulations to the Vikings. But they find ways to win in tight games. They've figured it out. The Bills are doing the opposite.
This was an old Bills loss. This was a pre-Josh Allen find a way to lose. That was what this was. Up 17 points in the second half. Say what you want about the opponent. Von Miller will say that it's his 12th year in the league and that these kind of games happen and tip your cap to the Vikings. I don't buy it.
Yeah, I don't buy it.
Let this one slip away. This one hurts. Sean McDermott said it's going to be tough to sleep tonight. And Josh Allen said this is the most upset he has been since Kansas City. And it feels like it.
Yeah. And look, I've said many times when the Bills have struggled, you got the quarterback, he'll be fine. And I don't think the elbow really impacted him. And if it did, I guess it would have been a little bit. It wasn't about the decision making. Something's going on with Josh, whether it's confidence in the play calling, whether it's something in his own head, but he's putting the ball in harm's way too much. And this team isn't good enough to survive when their best player is playing like that. Josh has been a great player. He was an MVP candidate. That's out the window at the moment. He'd have to go on a superstar run in the second half of the year. We're past the halfway point right now. He's had a couple of tough weeks. It's something Bills fans are going to have to live with. Season's not over. They got plenty of games left to be played. but this team's got to play a heck of a lot better. I know it's not fun for you guys, but we're going to have coverage all week.
Wasn't fun for us either.
No, and going in, trying to talk to them. You said about Allen, despondent after the game.
The most I've ever seen him be upset.
Yeah.
And you said is just before we're about to filming here, all of the dumb, crazy Bills games you have been to in your 30-plus years of covering this team, this one's up there.
No, it's way, way up there. I mean, Music City Miracle, blah, blah, blah. Those are playoff games. It's a regular season game. They've had some nutty ones. This one is right near the top, and they still could have won it, and they didn't get it done. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thanks for being with us. Hang in there, Bills fans. We think better times are coming because it doesn't get much worse than the way this one ended. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We're closing in on 20,000. Hey, look, we're going to be giving out some hats this week. So
We see you in the comments.
yes.
We see you.
So you might be getting a hat. You never know. Maybe that'll brighten your day. For Dan and Jenna, I'm Mike Catalana. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Buffalo Plus. Brutal.